welcome everyone to Conversations with Queen. I am your host, Media Queen, and today I have my very first guest. Yay! Um, Please welcome to my show the very lovely Mr. and Mrs. Naftali. You have to, did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Schwartz. So today I have here with me Naftali and Linda Schwartz. They are an extremely just breathtaking couple that have been together for, what is it, 26? 26 wonderful years. And this year is all about faith, family, finances, and fitness. For me, I don't know about you guys. I hope that would be your goal, but you don't see it too often. And I am a person that believes in happy ever after. I do believe that marriages can work, can last despite the 50% divorce rate. I believe that couples can stay together, enjoy each other, stay in love. And today I want to just talk to my guests all about their relationship journey and the advice that they have for us. So welcome. Thank you so much for agreeing to be guests on my show.
And thank you for having us.
You're welcome. It's my honor. And first, I just want to give a little recap on how we met. You know, like it was totally a chance event, right?
Right.
And we attended this wealth surge event. And after the speaker concluded and everyone, just kind of scurried out, right? We took the time to thank the speaker,
Yes.
to have words with each other.
Yes.
And I believe that God is intentional
Yes.
and brought us all together in the same space. So
Yes.
I want to know, tell my guests like a little bit about your history and what brought you in this space now, and let's
Okay.
talk.
Well, Linda, ladies first, so you go right ahead.
So when you are we focusing on the relationship and how we met? What particular questions would you like to
Well, I
Would
mean,
you like me to talk about my fitness journey, my wellness journey, nutrition,
In this case, I think us,
or just a relationship
right,
between us?
yeah.
we can cover as much as we can cover, but I
There's a
definitely,
lot to cover, so
I know,
Well,
and
this
I
is-
definitely want to get into your fitness journey. But tell me the story on how you guys met.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, well, in the days that I was inspired and becoming more and more observant in my own faith, Judaism,
Mm-hmm.
I started to go and learn what Judaism is all about. And so as I was studying and learning, my ultimate goal was to find someone that feels like me and really wants to get married. And I was about 34 at the time.
Oh, okay.
So when we met, it was like 5 months after studying,
Mm-hmm.
and I was on that path. And we met in a congregation called Hineni,
Mm-hmm.
which is in New York and Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
And I filled out an application and I gave it to the matchmaker. We went to a matchmaker
Mm-hmm.
because in those days when I was dating, it was not easy to find a person that I could relate to spiritually.
Oh.
So I filled out an application.
So you went through a matchmaker?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. See, that's something that I didn't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Went into the community.
Okay.
Good old fashioned,
Yeah.
good old fashioned love, good old fashioned matchmaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instead
Okay.
of just going out there the way I was and dating guys like that I met at work or something, you know, on Wall Street or, you know, any place, I would find somebody nice, but pretty shallow at the time, you know, no spirituality, no value path. Nothing.
And this was in New York.
That was in New York.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes.
So I can imagine all the hustle and bustle
Oh
and
my goodness.
the passing and not really
The
being
full
able
day.
to
Yep.
make a connection,
Right,
right?
Exactly.
very difficult.
Okay.
You
Very
actually
hard.
make one. You're supposed to be like 8 million people,
Wow.
and think you could be all alone.
Mhm.
And 8 million, it's mind-boggling. I still don't get it.
Right.
You know, you could be in the subway, and
It's
people
true.
like, what
Yes.
you looking at?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So a world
You know,
full of people,
Yes,
Yes.
but
and
everyone
yet,
lonely.
Yes,
And nobody
that's-
knows each other.
Right.
Nobody
That's-
cares to know each other.
Yes.
Right.
I just,
So,
you
so,
know,
so you're right. That was even more challenging.
Mhm.
Can you imagine?
it's true. Yeah.
Much more challenging.
I can't.
Yeah.
I tried the dating. Well, in our community, it's just like fashion shows. Very, I don't know, but there's Christian singles and things like that. But I have not had, you know what I mean, like good. I haven't heard of any stories that actually worked and were matches. So this is actually a first for me. Wow. Okay. So when they found your match, because they found him
Right.
for you,
Right.
right?
He also filled out an application. He can tell you about that.
Okay.
Well, we can make
Yeah.
a bit more dramatic. I like to make it a bit more, not so cut and dry.
Right.
So,
You had something up
It
your
was-
sleeve,
yes,
huh?
yeah. No, I would like to share.
Yeah,
I'd like
I
to share
mean-
with our audience what I was impressed with.
Mm-hmm.
We had two matchmakers, two women,
Okay.
and what we did is the way they did very interesting. So they took a photo of me, a photo of her, and we both filled applications.
Mm-hmm.
So what they literally did, they put our photos together, and they said, these two look like brother and sister, a little bit. They they felt something that we had closeness,
Mm-hmm.
and also 4 out of our 7 digits and the phone number were the same.
Oh wow.
And they said that to them that was a sign.
That was a sign.
Well, maybe we should get these two together.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that interesting?
Okay.
There's
Mm-hmm.
some spiritual stuff here.
Right.
Right.
You know.
Wow.
But I like that
Yeah.
they saw our features. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if anybody in camera can see that. I mean, anybody could see us in the audience. Do you see some resemblance?
In the eyes, I do. I
Yeah.
actually I now that I'm looking for resemblance, I do kind of see the same.
Interesting. So apparently that's what they saw.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And, yeah.
And
Okay.
it was
Okay.
funny because, so one day I came home from work and I received a phone call. And in
Mm-hmm.
those days, let me see, I had caller ID. I had a very simple cell phone, which I never really used. I would say, I looked at the caller ID and it was coming from Manhattan.
Okay.
And coming from this lady that I connected with. And I pick up the phone and I said, hello, how are you, et cetera, and she said, would you like to go out? I have somebody for you that is similar to you in your studies and the background and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, sure, what's his name? Naftali. I said, oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
figured Israeli, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I said, fine, sure.
Well, she had whatever.
Yeah, never mind,
Shit,
never
yeah.
mind.
Okay.
But so she called me and asked me, would I like to go on a date with him? So
Mm-hmm.
I said, sure, why not? So she said, I'm gonna tell him that you confirmed and that you like to go out and he should give you a call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I figured, one of those days during the week or whatever. So I didn't get a call till probably a week later,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I know that before he called me, they called to ask me, these two ladies called to ask me, did Naftali get back to you? And I said, no, I didn't hear from him, not yet, or whatever. And they said, well, we're gonna call him to make sure. So they called him, and he called me back. And we started talking. We were talking for about 45 minutes, right? And we were talking as if we were friends for a long time. I
Wow.
So,
couldn't believe it. It
wait,
was like
so
so
wait.
much fun.
We're giving everybody a clue out there. So clue number one. See, you talked on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and we really liked each other on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I liked about her was her voice.
Okay.
To me,
Mm-hmm.
I find her voice very soothing,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And what she liked about me is that I kept asking her questions.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to get to know me.
The way I do things, when I want to get to know somebody, I ask a lot of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be shy, you know. Ask
Right.
questions.
That's
Right.
You know, we're gonna we have this thing.
Right.
Dollar.
Grateful.
Dollar,
Grateful
yes.
dollar.
He has a
Funny.
video everybody should watch. He says when you meet
Oh,
somebody.
who is that? You said Creflo Dollar?
Creflo Dollar.
Creflo Dollar. I
It's
can't. I
Funny.
can
So
just
funny.
no. There's no way that I can watch somebody's scripture. You know what I mean? It's supposed to
No,
be
he's
biblical
very
with
Right.
the last name Dollar. I know. Is that really his
We-
biological last name?
No, we
or
don't
is
know.
it what?
I don't know if that's he
But that's
adapted
what
it.
he's
That's
called online,
Yeah.
and
But anyway, he has
funny.
he has this very funny video. He takes you gotta take a whole list of questions,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's how you get to know somebody. He said, don't be shy. You have
Right.
to ask questions.
Yeah.
It's
I
true.
agree. I
You see.
agree. You
I'll have to
definitely.
send that
Yeah.
to you.
Mhm.
The video
Yeah,
that he
if
made.
the audience
So
will
funny.
enjoy it also. It's very
So
interesting.
now, had they shown you two pictures of each other
Oh,
prior
that's
to
a
your
good question.
meeting?
Now you see, those days we did not have WhatsApp, so actually, believe that we had a blind date.
Yeah,
Yes.
blind date.
Would you believe it?
Okay.
See, yeah, we
And
did
what
not
was
know.
the feeling? So what was the emotion? So your first date, what was the?
Yeah, so again,
Right.
so we talked on the phone, and
Mm-hmm.
we see that in fact, Linda was supposed to have another date.
Oh, okay. So you had options. Huh?
She kind of, apparently she canceled the other date.
Okay.
To-
Because he
come to
sounded more
me.
interesting.
Right.
you know,
Okay.
And we seemed to get along on the phone and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And it
So-
was fun to talk to.
well, thank you.
So,
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, so.
And all these years later, you guys still like there's a lot of fun. I see all the fun there. So,
Yeah, well, Linda
That's-
said I still crack her up,
He
so,
does.
you know.
my number one joker. I can be in the worst mood or sad, or somebody says something to me outside, or like when I used to come from work those days, I was working on Wall Street with a lot of high strung people, very stressful,
Mm-hmm.
and I would come home very serious and very, you know, what do you call like
Tense.
stiff and
Mhm.
tense.
Oh, can I share what I did? So I want to share this.
When we were already married, yeah.
Our audience will like that. So Linda's picture this. Linda comes in what I call with a monkey suit. You know, with the attire that you dress in downtown corporate America.
Oh, okay. The
You
monkey
know.
suit.
Yeah, I call
Okay.
the monkey suit. And I see she's all very serious, you know, walks in. And I said, no, this is not going to work. I said, Linda, you got to do me a favor. You're going to go walk out that door and think, I'm home now. I'm not in my office anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I can relax.
Mm-hmm.
I actually asked her to do that for me.
And did you?
Yes, she did.
Wow.
She walked
It
out.
was very difficult
she
for me
even-
to.
Yeah, because I
Separate.
saw that we're not gonna. her mind is too much, and that.
It's
Office.
Right. Yeah.
So I realized
yeah.
this is.
And that's the psychological thing. That's why, like I find myself, being stay-at-home mom, I'm not that tenseness anymore. Because when you're out in the corporate
Right,
world and
yeah.
corporate structure, and then you have you know, managers that you have to answer
So,
to, and
you
then
know what
even
we're
if you're a
talking
about.
manager,
Right.
like as a, you know,
So
as
you
a
know what
woman,
you know what
it
you're talking
makes you
about.
very
Yeah.
tough.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
And it's like, oh, I
It's
don't want
terrible.
that toughness. Like,
And
you
my
can have it.
advice to our audience, that's not going to work
Right.
Right.
because then the woman is not the woman anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You become somebody else.
Right.
You can't. You're
Right.
not
It's like I'm
yourself.
rocking a steel toe and a stiletto. I like my stilettos.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like the
Exactly.
steel toes.
Yes.
You know.
Exactly. There you go.
So-
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
so how long after the dating process did you guys, you know, did you know that it was it, that it was time?
Oh, that's
Oh,
a
we-
big surprise.
After
Tell
3 dates, we knew right away. He
Three
said to
days?
me-
Actually.
Yeah, we were. Well, hold on.
Yeah, I
Oh,
knew.
so
I knew. I knew it more than yeah.
Wow.
First time we went out, my mother said, "Oh, you both should go see Private Ryan or something like that."
Saving
Some
Private,
movie.
Saving
Yes.
Private
Yes,
Ryan.
Saving Private
Okay.
Ryan.
So we did that according to her.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have thought what I wanted to watch and looked for what I wanted to watch, I would have found a different movie. Yeah, but anyway, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there, and then I think the second time he picked me up to go, I don't know, to a friend's house or something, or to celebrate Shabbos with him,
It
and
means
the
the
community,
Sabbath.
the Sabbath.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then the third time, it was already gonna be my birthday. So, and he had asked me maybe way ahead of time. I was like, my birthday is coming up. So he said, oh, why don't you stay at my friend's house? You can stay there. We'll, have a party or something. So I said, okay. So I stayed that Friday, and Saturday night, I think we finished and I went home.
Yeah, but wait,
But-
you missing. What did I surprise you with?
Surprised me the next morning because it was my birthday, I think, that day,
Mm-hmm.
with a birthday cake. I never
Aw.
got that from anyone.
Oh.
And even though I don't eat cake, I'm like, I'm gonna, this was really very nice.
Wow. Wow.
And so we celebrated with his friends in the community, and that was really a lot of fun.
Wow.
I really, really appreciate
So
it.
3 days. So 3 dates.
Mm-hmm.
And
that
then
night,
So,
yeah.
so again, we have a lot of messages to give. A lot of good advice.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes. You see, after a while, when you date, you already know what you don't want.
Right.
So that's what I did. When I really, the point in my life when I met Linda, I already knew what I don't want. The qualities when I meet a woman.
Right.
So it was like really process of elimination,
Mm-hmm.
which might help our audience too. If you do that, so right away, you can narrow it down
Mm-hmm.
to what you do want. Otherwise, it's too much to deal with.
Right.
Does it
Yeah.
make sense?
Right.
You see?
And I think that people are upside down and backwards in their compatibility.
Yes.
Because your physical, and we'll get into talking about that in a little while, but in 26 years, I'm pretty sure that she's not the same
Oh, no.
size. You're probably not even the
No.
same size, the same body composition. And you have a daughter, right?
Yes,
Right.
You know what I
correct.
mean?
Yes,
She's
So-
23.
23. By the way,
23.
and also in addition to that,
Mm-hmm.
the good news I can share with the audience is that I'm amazed how much we have grown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You really do grow a lot.
Yeah.
But again, we met people who we call Toys R Us people.
Mm-hmm.
Toys R Us
It,
kids.
there's a great commercial in Toys R Us store. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Right. There's a million
It's-
toys
yes,
at Toys R
yeah,
Us that
that's
you can
right.
play with,
So the
right?
thing is,
Fortunate,
Some
yeah.
which you kind of said, we met some people who still, they're 30 years later, they have not grown up.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
They still live with mommy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the
very
point to
sad.
so to answer, yes, we have definitely and by the way,
Because we did everything together on
Yeah.
our own.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want family involved. because I knew that they were gonna have this control kind of thing, and I
Oh
wasn't,
yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
gonna tolerate it.
From someone
Yes.
you know, coming from experience, having been married before, you know, mother-in-laws, they're a great blessing and
Yes.
addition, and that, but the minute that you let other people, you know,
Very
start
good.
having a say
Mhm.
in
Yes.
your relationship, it's like, okay, now who do I listen to?
Yeah.
Whose opinion matters here?
Oh, correct.
Whose life is it? You
Yes.
know, and you kind of feel trapped,
Yes.
Right.
you know,
right.
into
And also you're wondering, who are you looking for, your children's best interests, or are you looking for your best
right,
interests?
right,
See, the mother-in-law is not gonna
yeah,
say that.
yeah,
See,
yeah,
Can you relate to that?
absolutely.
You
Like
see,
it's,
so-
people can be very manipulative.
That's the
Yeah.
word.
You know what I mean?
That's the word,
Like
yes.
especially like mothers with sons. You know,
Yes.
and your daughter. Well, who you
Right.
going to be? I gave birth to you, and this and that. And it's like,
Yes.
hey, you know, you're
Yes.
never going to be the same equal. Your spouse
Yes.
did not give birth to you.
No.
You know what I mean?
And really, you know, so I wanna, really, it'd be
Mm-hmm.
very nice if mothers would say, I am not losing a daughter,
you're
I'm
gaining
gaining
a
a
son.
son.
right.
If you go with such an attitude,
Right.
you will have a much
right.
better
The law
relationship.
of abundance and
Correct.
being grateful, because it's all about addition and
Correct.
building and growing your
And-
family,
and you
right?
should, you should welcome it. But if you start worrying, well, no, he's taking this man is taking my daughter away,
Mm-hmm.
well, then you're gonna have problems.
Yeah.
You see,
yeah.
you start the resentment and the competition.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want that.
Right.
So
Right.
see, so again, this all our observations
Mm-hmm.
that so we were determined
Mm-hmm.
not to let the
So your parents had no interference in your relationship.
well they tried.
They tried.
They tried.
Okay.
But we made it very clear
Mm-hmm.
that let us make our own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
We are adults now,
Mm-hmm.
so again the message is learn to make your own decisions.
Right.
For example, a case in point, we know some people recently that both mothers are interfering in their children's lives,
Oh.
and we feel very sad. We even offered to give them some advice.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, they're very close to the mothers, and so the mothers are dictating.
And their
Their
marriage is
relationship.
suffering.
Well, yeah, yes, it's.
Oh, I
I mean,
know
well,
who
let
that
me not.
is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get to details because
Right.
Yeah,
Right. You
it's
don't want
another
to
watching.
yes, so nothing else because you never know
specifics,
who's watching.
Right.
You know, so we don't
Right.
want to. We don't want to.
Don't want to shake the world.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
But I'm giving
Yeah.
it in general,
Mhm.
so just people will know that, so there is, people have to learn to become adults. That's the message we give. You have to become to learn and work out your own issues.
Right.
Right.
Running to mother is not going to solve your problem.
And the less
Now I know
the
who
less
you're talking.
ears
Yeah.
and eyes you have
Correct.
in your the better.
Correct. Because the
You
minute you
know?
run to mother,
Mm-hmm.
well, mother's going to give you her opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
And well, what about this and what about that? And maybe things you'd even see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're right, Mom. I didn't see that about
Right.
So then that could cause more problems.
Right.
Mhm.
You see, so
That's true.
again, learn to work issues between the two of you, and you'll see that's how you grow.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, it's like when we became parents, and because my mom and I, we never had a really good relationship, and we never talked about pregnancy, we never talked about marriage, we never talked about what you experience when you're pregnant, when you have a baby, etc., how to take care of it, nothing.
Oh wow.
So I always
So-
babysat. I loved children.
Mhm.
And I've always loved children since I was a little girl.
Mhm.
I mean, I babysat starting at 10. I love kids. So when I had my daughter, I was so excited, but I was so afraid. Because a little infant, if you really don't learn what they need,
Mhm.
you know?
Oh
Wow.
my God.
I learned, I
I'm
pushed
so,
myself to read everything and talk to everybody and learn how to
how to be a
handle
mother.
infant.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't. And
That was great. Get to 6 months
and I
already,
never
you know?
really thought about what me having a child without my mother would have. There's no way I wouldn't have made it.
Really?
Wow.
No.
Well, I'm thankful I had my husband because he helped
Yeah.
me like all the time. I called him. People thought we were, and I said, "Listen, I am not having my mother involved because
Mhm.
she's going to tell me everything that she treated me. She's going to treat my daughter." I said, "No way."
Mhm.
So I felt bad, but I called my husband a lot.
Mhm.
Like, oh, look at what she's doing. Look what happened here. Or the doctors, and because our daughter, she had febrile seizures when she was very little, and I was so afraid. And so we used to go a lot to the doctor and a lot to the hospital when she was very young. But thank you God, by the time she's 6, no more of that. And I worked with her every day. I was home with her the whole time, all
Wow.
the time. I was happy to be a stay-at-home mom.
Mhm.
But having those moments of, not knowing where to turn, that was the part where I wished I could have had a very compassionate mother
Yeah.
for myself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of mothers do help their children with their children, you know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
hands on.
It's unfortunate.
Wow.
But I'm happy that I said to my husband, I said, no, I'm not having my mother come over because she's going to tell me every inch and every way that I should do this and do that with my daughter. She's not going to let me make my own decisions at all.
So you wanted to be
I wanted
independent
to
in
be-
raising your
That's
child.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So we did, and thank you God, she's a beautiful girl. She's 23 now.
Mm-hmm.
But we went through so much together, right, Tali?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but she is so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, I really needed him, and he was there for me all the way.
Wow.
Even though if it was hard,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help, but I called him because he was the only one I could lean on. There were people in the community, I would call them sometimes, but I really, for the most part, I really relied on him when I was
Mm-hmm.
a mother at home.
You know what I love, and that's what I want to ask you. How do you keep that? You see that gleam in your eye. You see that spark, and that like I almost want to, like tear up just seeing how you just revere her. After all these years and everything that you've been through. Like when you look at her, there is a level of just love and affection that how do you keep that?
Oh, I'll tell you, actually, it wasn't always like this. I gotta be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Love does grow, does change constantly.
Mm-hmm.
So I can share with the audience, the way you love at the beginning is not going to be, let's say, now we're 26 years together.
Mm-hmm.
It's to answer your question, it's a whole different love now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I really learned to appreciate her. Beginning, I did not really know her as I know her now.
Mm-hmm.
See, so the message is, you really have to,
You have to grow.
Marriage is work like anything else.
Yeah.
The problem, people work harder on their job than on themselves or their marriage.
Right.
And people understand that marriage is really, but here's the good news. Marriage it's good work.
It's good
It's
work,
not,
right?
why do I have to work so hard to get married? No, it's not. It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, at this point, at this stage, I really learned to appreciate because now I see her as my companion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny,
like best friend, right?
Yes.
Right.
If I said to you, when
tell
you
you,
look
that's
for
what it
someone,
is. Yeah.
make sure he or she is your very best friend.
You know,
because
that-
you really
yes.
need that person as you get older
Mm-hmm.
and things change in
Yes.
your life, and you really need a person to understand you that
Yes.
you're living with that's very close to you.
So
You know.
to answer the question, I appreciate her more now than I appreciated 26 years ago. There's no question.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
See, there's really appreciation
Mm-hmm.
because it's really nice that you go to bed I go to bed with her, and I get up from bed with her.
Same person.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
And the relationship is there.
Mhm.
You know, where I really feel very sorry for a lot of single people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with today this person, today that person, and we're playing this.
I don't
Married
even know what
couple.
to. Right.
Lollipop bag.
I
But,
can't even make any sense
you know,
of the dating scene
Yeah.
for
But there is
so
there
many
is
reasons.
no bonding. You see, it's all about bonding.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you see. You see that there is a bond here.
Mm-hmm.
You see there is intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
There is,
Closeness.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, because
That's what
we
you're.
are
That's what
a
you're.
family.
That's what you're
Mhm.
seeing.
You know,
That's what you're seeing. You're seeing the. It's really we learn to appreciate each other.
Right.
We didn't appreciate it. Really, at the beginning, think about it. You don't really know each other.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. I love you. I love you. But you really know what I love you means.
So 3 dates. So
Oh.
over the span, how long
So
did
to-
the 3 dates take?
10 days.
So 10 days, and then you knew you were getting married.
Yeah. Now,
and
by the
then-
way, what we did is, I don't know. Other people might say that's whoa. How did? I mean, I proposed to her after 3 dates,
Mhm.
and 3 months later, I said to her, "We're gonna get married," and she looked at me. Linda says, "You gotta be kidding me. Is this a joke?"
Mhm.
I said, "No."
Mhm.
And I went to the calendar. You see, and that's but it was interesting. At that time, I didn't know what, as we're learning, talking to you, everything is about making. It's like a vision.
Mhm.
I had this. I actually went to the calendar and I circled a date,
Mhm.
which in our case we decided we're going to get married the first night of Hanukkah.
which
The
Oh,
first-
that
the
year in
first candle.
'98, in 1998,
Mhm.
it was December
December
13th.
happened to be
Okay.
December 13th.
Mhm.
But here's the point. Linda thought, sounds good,
Mhm.
but she said, well, I'll see when I believe it.
Right.
Mhm.
By the way, I learned it from Dr. Wayne Dyer.
Mhm.
Dr. Wayne Dyer, I have many mentors like Anthony Robbins, but Dr. Wayne Dyer used to say, most people say, I'll believe it when I see it. In other words, show me your mansion, show me your whatever you want to show me,
Mhm.
and then I believe you.
Right.
He said that's what people make the mistake. In the subconscious, it works the other way.
It's the other way. It's
It's-
already real in your head.
It's first you have to
See it.
see it,
Mhm.
and then you believe it.
Right.
But most people know. We all trained. I'll believe you when I see when you prove it to me.
Mhm.
That's the problem. You
Mhm.
see. So
Mm.
in my mind, I already saw how in 3 months it can be done.
Mhm.
Linda said, "Okay, sounds good. Let's see."
Yeah, you know why? Because
See?
all of my
Yeah.
friends, I've been to quite a few weddings before. I was like the last on the list of all my friends to get married. You know, I was praying and praying and praying that I meet someone.
Mhm.
Even when I was finished, when I finally graduated, and I stood up in my graduating class when I was 24. There, they had rings, or they were either engaged or fully married, or whatever they was doing.
Mhm.
You know, and I said, okay, it's my turn now, and I'm like, I don't have a boyfriend. Where am I going to find one? You know, et cetera, et cetera. But I did have my job. Right, I was very happy. I was in the hospitality industry at that time, but I really wanted to get married, and I thought I mean, I had no idea it's going
And
to
you said
take
you were
me.
praying for.
I was praying
Mhm.
that I would really meet someone good as I got older and older and closer to God.
Mhm.
I started to realize I just want someone that's going to be a good friend to me,
Mhm.
that's going to be there for me. I prayed so hard because I didn't have that in my family.
Yeah.
You know, it was like I wasn't
Yes.
close to my mother or my
You know,
brother.
I want to say the first thing when I first met Linda, she said to me, "We're stuck like cement." And I said, "What do you mean we're stuck like cement?
Right.
What does that mean?
What is that?
We're stuck like cement, you
Means
know?"
inseparable,
Yeah, and
right?
I had to really analyze it and think about it.
Mhm.
And then after she explained to me her background, I really, it's very sad really, but Linda's case, nobody would stick with Linda. They didn't
Yeah,
stick
they
to
were
her.
just-
They come and go, come and go, come and go. So she said, "What's the point? You know, I
Yeah.
can't seem to have anybody?
That's real, that's committed.
There you
Yeah.
go.
You know.
You see.
Mhm.
Well, let me just go back to that point. So, when he talks about, getting married in 3 months, I was putting that, okay, I pray to God, right?
Mhm.
Because all of my friends, when they were getting married, it took them a year to plan their wedding. A full, they had the most beautiful halls and the dresses and this and that, and they had to get their families together. It took them a whole year to plan their wedding, So
Mhm.
that's what I saw.
Yeah.
With everybody.
Yeah. Mhm.
I didn't know.
I
So
did
when
too.
he said that, I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, but would you believe in this?
Mhm.
But then I heard one of these one of the couples who got married. How long it last?
which one?
When you told me 1 week.
Oh, there
Isn't
was
that
one
craziness?
couple I
It's-
heard. This is
Spend
really,
a fortune.
it wasn't my friend,
Tons
but
of
it was
money.
through a friend of
Spend
mine. I
tons
couldn't
of
believe
money.
it. There was a woman who was friends with a friend, and I couldn't believe it. She got married. It was a very wealthy wedding. They spent about $100,000, $150,000 on the wedding.
Think about it.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
everything.
A lot of
They
money.
go for their honeymoon on vacation on a cruise. They come back from the cruise and they annulled their marriage. So
Is
we
that-
don't-
Is
Yeah.
that craziness?
so
Woo!
after
All that
after
money.
a whole week, they spent all that money getting married and whatever time.
Yeah, because
dating.
they're already stressed out going into the marriage. They're upside down.
But anyway,
Like,
that's
what?
that's another good point. That says the message we tell people:
It's crazy.
you don't have to stretch it for a year and a half.
Yeah.
When you know someone and you feel that there is a lot in between you, just get
And
married.
then too,
Just
like
get
I'm the kind of
married.
person that
Don't-
I'm all about energy.
Yeah,
So if I'm having all these people, because the guests are really just looky loos.
correct.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Watch me at home. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Watch,
Yes.
watch me from your house on your couch. 'Cause,
Yes,
You know, like I feel like a lot of people go into their relationships and their marriages with people already putting bad energy into
there you go.
their marriage.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yes,
So if
that's-
people are thinking, oh, their marriage is just for a show, they
Yes.
look at all this money that they spent. So if you're thinking that everyone around there, everyone that was in attendance of the wedding, they're in awe at how much they spent on the wedding, and I
Yes.
guarantee you the first thing that was out of their mouths was like, I wonder how long they're going to stay together.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Which is really
so
sad. Very
right.
sad.
So if they had a cheap wedding, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like a little gown, a couple of finger foods, and hey, we're off. They probably would have stayed together.
Well, here we are,
Right?
46
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
later.
Right?
Maybe they had one of those,
We
even though
had-
Linda would have liked to have one of those fancy weddings, yeah.
Mhm.
But money was tight. So we
Yeah.
did the best we could. But again, people say it was very.
We had about
uh,
150 people at the wedding, which
so it
was
was
nice.
That was
More?
really that's
200.
not small.
Mostly his community,
More,
my
maybe more,
community that I
250.
was in learning.
Maybe
But
two.
then his-
maybe
yeah.
two.
That's
Well,
not small.
No, it was
It
nice.
was
It was
big.
very
It
nice.
was-
It was very nice.
So now when you say
But
community,
today, we don't
Yeah.
talk to anybody. We don't even know where any of these people are. We're not in touch with them at all.
Well,
Wow.
I mean,
it's
it was just
It's been no, it's
community
also
thing.
it's been 26 years.
that's
I
true.
mean, a lot of things changed in
But
26
once in
years.
a while, we talk to his rabbi, who's in Queens.
mm-hmm.
But otherwise, basically, we're just my husband, myself, my daughter, the three of
Right.
us.
Right.
And so the new friends that we can make now, oh boy, I'll tell you.
Right,
It's
because
very
26
important.
years of marriage, like you said, you came from New York. Tell me
Mhm.
about your journey and
Oh wow, what a
how
journey!
many different places have you lived.
A lot of people. By the way, again, this is all part of our message here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Be very. I'm gonna look in the camera for this. Be very careful who you associate with. I
Yeah.
cannot overemphasize to you.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the 5 people that you hang around the most.
Mm-hmm.
They either make you or they break you. And I mean it. I'm talking from personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
If I look back now, Lynn and I would have certain people we would definitely have not associated with. Because why? Instead of building us up, they brought us down.
Right.
It came to the point that says it's really too much. This very nice couple we know, again we're not mentioning names, they kept this saying, "Cause you know, you two are just two dreamers. We are just we are two dreamers." In
This
other
is
words,
back in New York.
yeah. In other words,
Yeah.
they didn't help us move ahead. We shared some of our dreams,
and
and instead of saying, "Come on, let's see how we can help you achieve them," well, why haven't you done it already? What's taking so long? And you know, when
no,
we were,
no support, no
there
encouragement.
you go. So I emphasize to people, you must hang around people who believe in you
Yeah.
and support, and they really want to. We all grow together. But knocking you down, that doesn't help anything,
Yeah.
It just.
and it makes you feel like this.
Yeah.
You know. So, to answer your question, yeah. So, for example, we met people in New York who said, "You're moving 3,000 miles to California? Are you crazy? Do you have family there?" So we said no. But I said because the way our personality, you can put us anywhere in the world. To us, people are people wherever we go.
Right. Doesn't matter
know,
the language
It's
or
how
anything.
you approach
Right. Yeah.
people. And they say,
I don't see and I've never ever seen in color. You know,
No.
I only see. I don't know. I don't know if you can say frequency
yes,
or
the vibration,
energy,
correct. Bob talks
or
about
you know,
yes,
like I see in love.
yes.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when people say love has love has no color or is
Correct.
colorblind.
Correct.
It's not a skin color.
No,
It's
it's
an aura.
if you believe we all,
You know.
if you believe we
We're all
really are,
human
we're
beings.
all, we're all souls.
Right.
They say up in heaven, everybody's very nice to each other. That's why, really.
I
you know,
wonder
they-
why.
No, they go through this tunnel, you know, when people, what you call a near-death experience.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody was so, I saw my aunt, everybody was so loving, but, well, how do you explain that? I mean, here, but get away from me, don't you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although we always make a joke, in New York, you know, I
Oh.
think, what are you staring at? Are you looking at me? Well, excuse me, you know, like,
Wow.
yes.
The
I mean,
attitudes are really that
Yeah,
bad
oh my
there.
God.
I mean, again, you talk to people, they go to, people, what do you mean, people are friendly. I said, well, you live in New York for a while, you'll see how friendly they are.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you an example. I get up in the morning, go outside, say good morning to a person. He says to me, do I know you? I said, no. He said, well, he looked at me like, I don't have to say good morning to you.
Right.
You know, I said, what a shame. You know, I said, never mind. I said, just have a good day, you know. I said, I was thinking, you don't have to know somebody to say good morning to that person.
Right.
Just say good morning. But he really felt like, no, he really has to know me.
In order to talk to you. Yeah. That's,
So when you start,
I'm
you see,
actually like the opposite. I think that we have
I mean, when we met you,
a duty
Right.
we didn't know you.
to say hello to the faces
Right.
that you
Yes.
don't know.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
But
Like
when we
people
met
that-
you, did we know you before we met you?
No.
No, but we can say hello, you know.
Right.
You see?
Right.
So
right.
again, so we want to educate people.
Mhm.
There's a lot, you know, when my show, and the title was Time to Go Back to Basics, it just came to me.
Mhm.
I was sharing with your son, you know, spiritual, mental, and physical. 10 years ago, this, in any way it's happening now,
Mhm.
that the world has gone topsy-turvy.
Yeah.
We must go back to basics.
We have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you said, you guys, you just moved here
Yes.
from California.
Yes.
When,
Right.
Correct.
what you said 2 years ago now?
What,
Yeah,
it
almost,
was August or what?
August
20
2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did you say was the driving factor to you? Why did you want to
Well,
come out of
Well,
California?
Oh, so
Well,
first of all, we did try
yeah.
California for over
For
a
10
decade.
years.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry to say, really, the culture there is so,
different.
wow.
Very
It's talking about, I don't know, have you been to California? Have you ever?
Oh yeah,
Have you
I
lived
have
there?
family. I know.
Okay.
I haven't lived there. It's just way too expensive. You know.
Oh, besides
But-
expensive, we find the culture, the people really, I mean, they are friendly. They will say good morning to you,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
but it's fake.
Right.
It's not real.
Good morning. As my father used to
I
say,
feel like you ever see that movie
Yeah.
Barbie? There's a movie out there.
Yeah.
I just watched it the other day. Like,
Hi, Barbie.
I didn't want to
Hi,
watch
Barbie.
it when it first came
Yeah.
out because I'm like, what do I,
Yeah.
I did the Barbie thing when I was a kid,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and so I finally just watched it the other day.
Well, it's fun. She did as a kid. I like
And
that.
oh yeah, I was Barbie. I had Barbie pictures
There
in
you
crib.
go.
Like if nobody got anything, it was me, and I got a Barbie.
There you go.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that
So-
was my thing. But yeah, it's not a Barbie's world.
No,
You know,
it's a make believe pretend.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
So anyway, so California, we finally realized it would be very difficult to make friends over there.
yeah,
It's unfortunate because if you look up in dictionary, not dictionary, if a Google search, where the most flaky people, California.
It's
Touche.
unfortunate
It's
because
apparently it's the
yeah.
culture, it's the whatever.
Yeah.
it's like I have a whole
Yeah.
string of contacts where everybody said to me, "Oh yeah, we're gonna meet for dinner or we're gonna go out for coffee or whatever," and not one person calls me back.
yeah.
I'm like, after
They
them, they all
get
know
that
me.
everywhere. I get
Yeah.
it here. I would get it there. Like
So really, I don't want to offend California.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
want to offend
I mean,
California.
Right,
because
but,
It's just that
we
our,
think
our
it's a
our
beautiful
ex-
state. It
yeah.
really is.
It's a beautiful.
Beautiful.
We think it's a beautiful
All the
state. It is
beaches
beautiful.
and everything. I happen to love Southern California, but the north is also beautiful.
No, it's beautiful.
Napa
Yeah.
Valley.
So again, we don't
Everywhere,
want to offend any
beautiful.
Californians. Just that
No.
we say personally, we
it
need
didn't fit
we
your.
need people with not just surface.
Yeah.
Down
We
to
like to
earth.
go deep,
Right.
Right.
get to know
Mhm.
people.
Right. Up close and
They're-
personal.
they're-
Like it's
they are
very
right.
it's very
They're essence.
challenging
Yes,
these
there you go.
days to
It is.
to let people in your personal space.
It is.
Because everyone has either an agenda, a motive, they want something.
Correct.
They've got full they're full of baggage,
Yes.
full of
Yeah.
toxic,
Yes.
full of a whole,
That's
what I mean,
right.
Pandora's box.
Yes.
You
Correct.
you
Oh
can
my
see
God.
someone
Yes.
and
Yes.
and you have the best conversation and and then an hour later, hey, I'm stuck, blah blah blah, and I need your couch for about a week or so. I've had
God.
some crazy experiences
Really?
just from
You
saying
see?
hi.
Wow. Yes.
Literally,
Yes.
like just from saying hi.
Yes.
It almost took me back, like the place where this
Wow.
guy, he was, and we'll talk about personal training, but he was, hey, see me at the gym, let me help you with your form and blah 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 and this and that, and so like long story short, he was here passing through. We didn't have any kind of romantic involvement or anything. He said that he was a truck driver, and that he needed his driver's license. He needed to get a new driver's license so that he could get back, on the road, and he was doing some things or whatever. So he asked me if he can, get a driver's license. Well, it's got to have somewhere to go. So I think he was pre-planning this, and so I let him use my address. Probably about a week later, he has bags
Oh,
at my
gosh.
door, and it's like,
What do you mean?
I live here now.
He's ready to move in?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And I called the police, and I'm like,
Are you
I gotta, I don't know what, but you need to get here because in about 2 seconds he gonna be pow, And so it was a whole nightmare. And then the police
Wow.
got here. And so I have, keys to my mailbox. So I checked the mailbox. And yeah, his driver's license was in there with my address on it. And had he had that in his possession, he would have been allowed to come in my home.
Really?
Wow. Oh my gosh.
That's how the law is?
That's how the law is.
Oh my
I-
gosh.
Yeah, and so
That
so I
is-
told the police officers, I said, I don't
Whoa.
know what you're gonna do with him, but you're gonna have to get him away from here. And the police officer says, well, can you at least call an Uber? And I said, I called you.
This was very recent.
Now this was probably maybe about 4 years ago.
That's a crazy story.
But it's just just having
Whoa.
conversation, and me, the kind-hearted person that I am.
You were just
Like
trying to help him out.
at the
Yeah.
time, I wasn't. you know,
didn't
really
connect the
thinking,
dots.
you
didn't
know,
connect the
like
dots.
the whole setup, motive plan, anything. But that's what I'm saying. People literally, you know,
Wait, now that was his intention?
that was his
Into your
intention.
house?
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
you know,
gosh.
stuff that you see like on you know the Tyler Perry movies,
Yeah.
where the
This
take
actually.
over
Wow.
the home. But yeah, so it's like you know, especially when you're a woman,
Wow.
you know, and people
And all
see
you're
you and
trying
they
to
say,
do is do a good deed.
yeah,
Right.
and
You
all you're
see?
trying to do, hey, you need your you know, everybody has to have a driver's license,
Yes.
right? So you're thinking that there's
No,
nothing
that
to
is
okay,
a crazy story.
but if yeah, you know, so
Yes,
it's
I
like
gotta
it's
tell
scary
you.
to who you even
So
say
you want
hi
to
to,
be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
right?
You see, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
So, by the way, that's also it's the same thing with dating.
Mm-hmm.
You meet somebody,
Mm-hmm.
you have no idea
Right.
who they are,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they look like nice. A nice.
They look like.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you have some advice about that?
Oh
I don't
my
know
gosh,
because
you gotta be
especially
very-
women.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
be very careful. I was very careful since I was
Mm-hmm.
younger, you know, because I've been through what I've been through as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I grew up in the Bronx, raised in Forest Hills, Queens, so I left just when the Bronx was getting bad.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice when I was a little child, but the minute I got to 8 years old, 9 years old, my mother was already making plans. We finally left there when I graduated 6th grade. But anyway,
I know
So
the audience
moved to-
knows about different boroughs.
yeah,
but
well,
yeah,
anyway, I
New York
know
City,
there are
five
five boroughs
in New
York.
Mm-hmm.
Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Bronx, and Staten Island.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was living in Queens later on when I
Mhm.
was already, it was 11 and a half,
Mhm.
something like that. And I'll tell you, I've seen so much in my life as a kid growing up. But I want to get back to that point that we were saying. I forgot. So
That the
what-
pre-screening, the pre-screen, the
In other
screening
words,
dating.
in other
Yeah,
words, when
I'll
you-
tell
when-
you,
Yeah,
there
if
was-
you give some advice to
Yeah, no, one, for
how to
example,
get involved
I had
with.
I had two people because I used to date a lot and meet a lot of guys, right? So I met one guy one time from Peru, and he was very nice. You know, we went out for coffee, whatever it was, and then he started saying, "Well, how would you like to get married? And I'll give you $10,000 to be my wife, so I can become an American." I was like.
With immigration stuff.
Have you heard such situation?
I said, "Are you out of
Yeah.
your mind, boy?"
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, "Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Take care. Let's go. Goodbye."
yeah,
No, see, I was
Out,
approached
I'm
by
out.
I was approached by two women
yeah.
who said, well, you know, because they want to become American, you know, if you get married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my mother said to me, don't even think of it. You
Right.
may think it's easy money,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
but then you're gonna
Mhm.
get married on paper. Then you say,
Mhm.
okay, let's get divorced. It might be
A big-
Yeah, I dated
Don't
a
do
man
it.
who wasn't
Don't do
an unnatural, you know,
yeah.
citizen. He was working on his permanent visa and stuff, and that was an option. Like if I were to marry him, then you know he would have been a citizen. And I was just like, no, you know what I mean? Like I knew very. Not early into the relationship, but and it wasn't even the cultural differences. It was, you get to find out just how selfish people are,
Yeah.
Mm.
you know, when you're in a relationship. And he was extremely selfish, you know. And then for me, for my kids, my whole thing is, you know, with the blended family is if you're going to do for yours, you're going to do for mine too. You know what I mean? Not to the extent of, you know, greedy and you know, but if we're together and there you've assumed that responsibility, you want to discipline them, you want to, you know, have access to the house, you live here, you have all these, you know what I mean? These things, you know. This was my pre-salvation days. Thank you, Father. You know, but yeah, you know. So it was the living together out of wedlock, which is
So
absolutely no.
no,
It's an
it
absolute.
doesn't work.
It doesn't, because God doesn't bless no mess,
Well,
but
even rhymes.
yeah,
God
God
doesn't bless.
God
no
don't
mess.
bless no
Yes.
mess.
I like good one.
That's
Yeah.
old school, but
Yeah.
trying to clean it up and do it, and for a while it did work, the whole living
Yeah,
together
but
out
then
of
it blows up.
it really
Yeah.
did in a bad way, because I saw that it wasn't, he wasn't really genuine, like I said, and it's like, okay, you say, you're taking on the roles and responsibilities of, being dad, and, this and that, I didn't have, I had my older two, my son that passed, and my oldest one, and they've always been great boys, and my oldest, he has relationship with his dad, like he went away for a while and did some prison time, so he was kind of a out of the way dad, but when he was present, and so but it just helped me to really hone in on, it's the little things, it's the you're going to get you something to eat, but you didn't bring me or the kids something back.
Good point.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or it's, like you're, making plans and going out and not even saying, hey, do you want to do something? Do you want to go out? Do you, and then, and this is the part that I really want to. This is going to be where we talk about the body change, right? Because something happens, when you're a woman and your body starts going through changes, and
Right.
different
Menopausal
not so much menopause, but just weight, figure,
Right. 40 after 40.
confidence. This was like in my 20s,
Mm.
like, and I'm in better shape in my 40s than in my 20s. Like in my
Right.
20s,
Wow.
I
Me
was
too. Yeah.
I was almost twice this size,
Wow.
like,
Wow.
yeah,
My compliments to you. So
thank God,
very
like God
nice.
is good,
Yes.
and
Very
it's
nice.
all about how you love on yourself.
Right.
See? Wow.
Like, and I had to really get out of the relationship arena
Mm-hmm.
to find the love that I need, which is
Yes.
actually me loving me.
Well,
Right.
Whitney Houston famous
Right.
song.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest-
Learning to.
Yeah, it's the greatest
love.
love of all. Mm-hmm. That's
Mhm.
what she's my favorite of all time.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
what we feel so bad
It was
how she
very
she ended
sad.
her life. It's
yeah.
Yeah, and
I don't
her
know, but
son-
that's a conspiracy theory. I don't think she ended anything. I think it was taken. I think just as the whole Hollywood demise.
see
Yeah.
we don't we
You
try to
know.
keep away from all the garbage.
Mhm.
But maybe if some information, but we felt bad because we always
Well, yeah,
Well,
of
she
course.
was
Like I don't think
yeah.
that she was a drug addict to the point of
that she
overdosing.
would just
no,
Wow.
no. But how else would
Conspiracy
they?
thing.
Yeah,
and then
there's.
her daughter was it also.
Yeah.
And then her, yeah.
21-year-old
So
girl.
how does that? That's
too much,
that's
too
not
much of
coincidence.
Consequence.
That's
Yeah.
that's the price that you pay for
yes
that life.
for that life, correct.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, but so you really
Yeah.
have come a long way.
Yeah,
You've come a long
God
way.
has delivered me from a
Wow.
lot of things, and right now, I really feel like it's just it's narrowing down what's important in life.
Yes, correct.
Which
That's-
is like
that's
to
it.
me, faith. My relationship with God is my first and foremost priority. My family. The
Yes.
people that are around me every day that I encounter, that I'm building home and life with.
Yes.
Of course,
Yes.
finances. Because you need finances to move the ship,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And then the fitness.
Yes.
Because ultimately.
We'll have
The-
to get
the
together
health-
with her with the wheel of life. There's different
the health
segments of your life. There's-
Yes, but no, the sister's in the right
She's
track.
pretty
I
good.
can,
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
see she's in the right track.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
wheel of life. it's
Right. So now you're in, and you've kind of reverse the clock too, because right, you're over. Do we want to? You know, I'm old school. Like, there's two things that you never ask a woman. That's the weight and the age. You know, I don't know why people like, how old are you? How you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but we'll just say,
Yeah.
I'll just say, at this stage in your life, and now you are embarking on, or tell me about your
New
fitness journey and
Yeah.
what you're doing now to keep
So
that
it's-
up.
Yeah, it's almost 15 years. So back in April 2010 is when I began my journey, because after what I saw my mother go through, and then just recently, 2022, what my brother went through. So my mom died in 2007 from diabetes and heart disease.
Mm-hmm.
And I already got an alert for myself, like, you know, how do I manage my own health, you know, all of that kind of stuff. Plus, I never felt well in my digestive system, which I didn't understand. So I would go to the doctor. At first, they'd give me these pills. It would be okay for a few days, then it would come back again. I didn't know what was going on. So I researched. And in April 2010, I actually got hold of this lovely lady. And yes, Penny, I say hello to you if you hear this, but Penny Shelton helped me so much that I even won one of her books. I started the raw food diet at that time, so I learned to become vegetarian.
Okay.
And I was learning more at that time on a vegan path. I was getting away from the red meat, getting away from everything at that time, because I just wanted to feel better. So I didn't go jumping overnight. I was learning. So the first thing I said, well, how do you satisfy your cravings of chocolate? Because I love chocolate. I love ice cream. So I would find all these recipes, and I'd start working on that. And then at home, I had a treadmill. So I would be on my treadmill 2 days a week. And I would just keep going with the nutrition. So I did like cleanses and fasting and stuff like that with juicing. And in a few months, I would say about 6 months, 8 months, I had dropped down. It was amazing, from a size 14 to a size 4. And I'm there today.
Wow.
Okay? Today, I have a different part of me that has been getting better, because we moved in 2013 from New York to LA at the time. And when we came into LA, I said to my husband, you know, I do want to go back to the gym eventually. I was already thinking about it. And then I ended up going with a friend of a friend there to Crunch Fitness, which was in Burbank at the time. And so after going twice with her, they called me up, the manager called me up and said, would you like to enroll with your family? So my husband said, that sounds like a good idea. So all three of us went, and we all enrolled, started working out. So it was working out and eating the way I was eating from New York. Okay, so I was still keeping everything. And then, of course, we're out in California, tortillas and empanadas and all these good Mexican foods, right? Like chimichangas, all these kinds of burritos. I went crazy. So in a year, I had put on 10 pounds. I was freaking out. So I didn't know how to get rid of it at that time, because I mean, I remember what I did, but I was like, something's not working. Okay, fine. But I was okay. Let that year go, year and a half. And then we were planning on moving from LA to San Diego, because I didn't like LA. So we moved to San Diego, where it's less entertainment industry and less actors and actresses, blah, 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 right? Although I did fall in love with Zumba.
Right.
That's
so
where
you
my
moved.
passion.
So I
Yes.
chimed in on this one little part here,
Yes.
and then I'll let you finish
Yes.
your story. So you moved because you didn't like it. You guys moved because she didn't like it.
Actually,
Oh,
she
no.
didn't. She didn't like it.
We had a goal.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a goal that we were really going to move to San Diego.
That was
not
the,
to
that was
LA.
the original plan.
Okay.
But we made a detour because someone told us to move there because it would be better for us religious-wise. So we listened. So we took a detour. Instead of going to San Diego directly, 11 years ago, we went to LA first. So we were in LA for 2.5 years. I told my husband, I don't like this. I don't want to be, this is like a warm New York kind of thing. I don't really like it. I want to get out of LA.
Mm-hmm.
I love San Diego. It's beautiful over there, and it's more
San
relaxed.
Diego is
More
beautiful.
relaxed.
It's a different kind of. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So,
Much more.
getting back into my Zumba part, okay, I fell in love with Zumba in LA. I had the best instructors because they were all performers.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned from them a lot of different movements and how to get that feel of being on stage, because I never was on stage by myself. I didn't even understand how to teach fitness at that time. So I was like trying to find different aspects of myself to change.
Mm-hmm.
So fine, so I started there, and I had gotten my first certification for Zumba, basic Zumba, in 2015. So we lived 2013 through 2014, 2015, and in 2016 we moved to San Diego, and I said, I've got to find, I'm connected to the gyms now. I'm going right and finding a gym right away, right wherever we moved to in
Mhm.
San Diego. And I did, I found 24 Hour Fitness. So I joined, we signed up from like May 2016 until then 2019, and then COVID hit. No more gym at that
Right.
time, right?
No more gym.
But all that time, I had been dancing Zumba, and yes, eventually in 2018, I got my other certification to teach Zumba Gold. So
Mhm.
that's my focus.
Yeah.
I teach Zumba,
Zumba
Gold.
Gold. Okay.
It is my main focus, but I do have a lot of other certifications.
Yeah.
And I also became personal trainer recently.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
So
I
I
can.
love it. I mean, and I've been changing a lot. COVID, for me, the part of COVID that I really did like is that we were all at home.
All at home.
So at that time, we were living in an apartment in San Diego where we had a loft.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't bother my husband or my daughter with the loud music.
Mhm.
And I was dancing away. I had every connection to all the instructors, and I kept learning and dancing with them, and it was great. And then I kept changing my own body because I started to do bikini bodybuilding. And I
Wow.
love it.
Wow. So
And that's what I
bikini
want.
bodybuilding. 26,
Yeah.
26 years
And also-
later.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I
I
must say,
love it.
so I see a transformation in front of my eyes with Linda, because she wasn't like that when I met her.
Wow.
She wasn't like
wow.
this.
Because I never
Yeah.
knew there was such thing as obtaining or getting that dream body. That you know, women think sometimes, at least I did, that I've always wanted to look a certain way, be a certain way, feel a certain way, and I just followed whatever I saw.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, what? When they talk online, all the instructors and people that I follow, they're like, yes, you can get this dream body.
Yeah.
You don't have to think it's far away and not
And-
even. And yes, you can, as you do body sculpting. And people are like, what? I never heard of body sculpting. Well, I recently have found out the last 4 years I've been working on myself.
Yeah.
With that part.
With the
In conjunction
sculpting.
with Zumba.
Yeah,
Zumba.
and that's kind of where it's at for me now too. It's
Yeah.
that I'm happy with my weight and my size. Now it's just all about the sculpt and the definition and the
That's
rips
right.
and the
That's
chisels
right. There
and
you go.
yeah,
And it's
you know
work.
what I mean?
It's work,
It's
but
like,
it's good.
yeah,
just like,
it is
you
good
know.
work. It's like you said, it's